Hey, I'm Mark,
And I'm Craig.
and this is Songwriter's Tales. Craig, who do we have coming on today?
Man, we have got somebody that you are not going to want to miss. I have a publisher in Los Angeles that has been working with my catalog for a couple of years now. And this guy is a who's who, not just in LA, but also in Nashville. He is a songwriter turned publisher. And he's written songs with Garth Brooks. He's done work with Kenny Rogers. Oh, gosh, Tammy Wynette, Don Williams, Joe Diffie, the Oak Ridge Boys. This guy knows everybody and anybody in Nashville. Going to be a great show, Mark.
And what's his name?
His name is Rex Benson.
Cool. Let's do it.
You know what I love, Mark, listening to Rex on all of these stories is a lot of this I didn't have the history of. He's mentioning these guys that were working with the guys before you and I, because Mark and I hit Nashville, and we came in there in the 90s, right about the beginning of the 90s. And that's when all the, the Garth was coming out, and George Strait was out, and it was Alan Jackson. It was this new group of guys that was coming out. So I'm loving hearing these stories.
Oh,
about,
yeah, me too.
About them doing Mel Tillis and such.
What I was going to say is just listening to Rex is how close-knit that town is, and how everybody who's anybody knows everybody else who's anybody. And the fact that, some of these iconic people started out as the tape guy, or, it truly is. I've been in LA, I've been in Nashville. It still feels like there's that close-knit family. Everybody knows everybody kind of thing, which is really cool.
I think there is still a good degree of that, but as new people have come along, as country music has become more and more popular, a lot of people came in from other formats.
Sure.
You don't automatically know everybody. You have to continue to establish and reestablish relationships. I don't have to go to Nashville anymore to play songs for anybody.
Right.
I have to go to Nashville to meet people and to understand what they're about. And to, like last time I went, I had lunch or breakfast with 10 different producers, and they're all icons. Every one of them. My old friend Carson Chamberlain, who now produces Zach Top. He used to produce my demos for me, So people like that, what you're really asking for is to be considered, so that when I think I have an idea, whether it's a Craig song or any of the other writers I represent, I want the person I send it to think, okay, Rex thinks enough of this that I have to listen to it. They don't have to like it, but I want them to listen to it, And then at least we have a shot. And that's all I ever ask for is a shot,
Exactly.
And that really is my job. My job really is this. Find a song I love that I think maybe I have some idea of what I can do with it, and then put it in the hands of a decision maker. Because everybody can say no in every format of music. The brand new intern from Belmont can say no, okay? But who can say yes? Who can say this is going to be on the record? And that's who I try to get to every day. I try to find more and more conduits, direct to artists. If not to artists, then whoever's the closest to the artist. The producer, the manager, sometimes it's the bus driver. It's whatever conduit, any conduit. But almost always a producer and an artist are going to have a great say-so. And if I could hand a song to anybody, it's going to be to the artist.
Sure.
So I will say this. Going out to Nashville in the 90s, one of the things that I did realize is it was a very people-oriented. Clay Bradley was one of the first people that I sat with at BMI when he was with them.
Yeah, me too.
Well, he's with them again, I think. That's Owen Bradley's son, for those that are listening. Owen was the producer for Patsy Cline and all. Who else, Rex? Who else did Owen produce?
Well, he was an icon. He produced a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much everybody in that time.
So his son, Clay, well, it was his grandson. I think Clay is
his grandson.
Right, his grandson. Had just gotten out of college and was just starting with BMI, and somebody introduced me to Clay, and Clay used to introduce me to everybody. He'd write on a piece of paper, go to this address and talk to so-and-so. He did the same for Mark. And and that's when I realized Nashville is that kind. Now, life itself, and this is where you're an inspiration to me, Rex, is life itself really hinges on that. People that you know, people that you do right, people that trust you and that you trust, and you got to have relationships with people. That's just what humans do. And I've been in different businesses in my life, and every business is like that. I don't care if it's car sales or whatever, but this business is is like hyper that. And so that's an inspiration to me because you and I talk, Rex, on a regular basis about meeting people, because you never know who you're going to meet. If they're going to be the conduit, that's a word that you have used often with me, is the conduit to, to getting the right song to the right artist, which they will be very appreciative that you found them if they have the right song, because they're not going to do the song unless they love it. And so it's symbiotic, in my opinion, that, you're not just pushing a song on them that they should do. If they don't like it, they're not going to do it. And
I think your point about that anybody might be a conduit is really relevant. And I do think not only from a business perspective, I'll tell you a story. I was on Tracy Lawrence's bus. I don't remember when it was, probably sometime in the 90s, maybe early 2000s. I don't know. And we're just chatting and talking, and on comes a young lady, and the guys introduce her to me as the massage therapist, and I'm thinking, so I'm
going to close my eyes right now.
Yeah, I know. So she asked me for my card, and I reluctantly handed her my card, and so I didn't think much of it afterwards. And about 2 weeks later, I get a phone call from this young lady, and she says, "Hi, Rex, it's Cindy," or whatever her name was. "I met you on Tracy Lawrence's bus. Can you call me back, please?" And I thought, I don't think it's smart for me to call this person back. I'm a happily married man. I don't see any reason to call her back, So I don't call her back, and she calls me again another week later and leaves me another message. And I didn't call her back. So about a month or two goes by, and I'm out at some other show with an artist, and I'm walking backstage. I look up, and here's this girl coming, and she's coming right at me. And I'm thinking, oh, man, because... And she goes, Rex, it's Cindy. I met you on Tracy Lawrence's bus. And I go, oh, yeah. And she says, I called you twice and left you a message, and you didn't call me back. And I didn't want to lie to her or anything. I didn't want to I said, I'm so sorry. She says, I was out on a movie set with Ron Howard and Tom Hanks, and I was telling them that you had written a song for Garth Brooks, and they asked me to call you to ask if you could please give them a song for the movie, and you didn't call back. And I thought, well, okay, God is teaching me a lesson here about arrogance and about how to treat people respectfully, and to never again in my life am I going to assume that somebody is nobody. It's just not how Jesus taught us to treat people, okay?
Yeah.
We have to treat people respectfully, regardless of the business ramifications or what it's in it for us. So that's the bigger lesson, is that, we have to treat everyone respectfully, Craig, because we don't know, first of all, are they someone that can help us or not? And even if not, we just have to treat them well. But I've used this saying with you a million times. Everybody in the world is 2 phone calls away. Okay, everybody. The Pope is, Michael Jordan is,
that's so
Garth
true.
Brooks is, whoever it is, Paul McCartney is. If you know the right first phone call, you can get to anybody. And that's a great part of what I do all the time, is try to discover right first phone call.
Yeah. That's so smart. That's so right, too.
That is. I've got I'm thinking about how you approach. You first of all, you love what you do. You are as a songwriter, you love the creation of a song. Because you and I have talked enough, and I can tell. I get the same vibe. Is that when you're just putting the song together, that's part of the love of it. It's not just getting the song and then loving the song. It's actually doing the song. But you also love pitching songs and calling people and talking to people. I mean, that's, and establishing it. And that's the beauty of that. That's one of the things that jumped out at me about you. You are passionate about what you do. And the people that we hope are listening to our podcast, Rex, we're hoping that there's, of course, professionals, songwriters, musicians that are trying to get somewhere, but also just people who have never even, who know nothing about music. They're just doing it because they're interested in the business, and well, how does that work? Who was it on that we asked? We asked Pat Buchanan the other night, because he's been a producer as well. He's a producer, and we asked him, would you just explain what a producer is? And so we're just trying to, with our show and our format, just open it up. We want to encourage people also. This is the other side of it. We want to encourage songwriters or artists to, now that story that you told might not be very encouraging, because I think that's really rare that your spark started a fire as quickly as it did. Because here, Mark and I are 30 years down the road. Ours didn't quite work out like that. We still love it, but it doesn't always happen like that, and probably more often than not, it doesn't. But I think the story there, the lesson there is don't give up. I mean, that sounds trite and that sounds common, but that is it. Don't give up, because if it's a great song, it's going to find a home if you just keep it going. Is that, would you agree with that?
Absolutely, I would agree with that. I believe in the power of the song. I believe that songs make artists and not the other way around. I think Lucille made Kenny Rogers and not the other way around. I think the dance made Garth Brooks.
Yeah, exactly.
Not the other way around. I think Here in the Real World made Alan Jackson and not the other way around.
Absolutely.
So I believe in 100 years from now, people may have forgotten Paul McCartney's name, but we're still going to be humming Michelle, because
we will.
songs live their own lives. They're still going to, they live their own lives.
Yeah,
exactly.
So I think it's really important to focus on the song.